Welcome, let's journey together into tonight's peaceful story. Iris and the helpful sprite named Lotus. This story is about Iris, a kind-hearted girl, and Lotus, a helpful sprite, who together bring joy and solve a village crisis with magic and teamwork. Once upon a time, in a quaint village at the edge of a vast forest, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Iris. She had a small cottage filled with colorful flowers and aromatic herbs, where she spent her days tending to the garden and helping her neighbors. Iris's life was simple, yet she found delight in every small detail, from the chirping of birds to the rustling of leaves. One sunny morning, as Iris walked through the woods to gather some wild berries, she stumbled upon a tiny sparkling figure trapped under a fallen log. It was Lotus, a helpful sprite with wings that shimmered like dewdrops. Lotus had a cheerful disposition, and was well known in the forest for helping lost travelers. Without hesitation, Iris freed Lotus by lifting the log carefully. Playful, Lotus fluttered around Iris, thanking her enthusiastically. From that moment on, Lotus decided to stay by Iris's side, offering help whenever needed. Together, they became an inseparable duo, bringing joy to everyone around them. Iris and Lotus spent their days exploring the forest, discovering hidden streams and secret meadows. Lotus's magical abilities made their adventures even more enchanting. He could make flowers bloom with a single touch and illuminate dark paths with a soft glow. As the seasons changed, their bond grew stronger. They celebrated the blooming of spring flowers, the warmth of summer sunsets, the vibrant colors of autumn leaves, and the serene snowfall of winter. Every moment was cherished, and every memory was precious. Whenever Iris felt tired or sad, Lotus would create delightful light displays that danced through the air, lifting her spirits. His presence was a constant reminder of the beauty in the world and the power of kindness. One day, the village was threatened by a terrible storm that could ruin their harvest. The villagers were anxious, but Iris and Lotus devised a plan to protect the crops. Using his magic, Lotus created a protective barrier around the fields, while Iris coordinated the villagers to secure their homes and livestock. The storm raged for days, but the barrier held strong, and the village remained safe. After the storm passed, the villagers celebrated their survival with a grand feast. They honored Iris and Lotus for their bravery and ingenuity, recognizing how their friendship had brought peace and prosperity to their lives. As the stars twinkled in the night sky, Iris whispered her gratitude to Lotus, who replied with a warm smile, reminding her that their journey together was far from over. They continued to delight in each other's company, ready to face whatever adventures awaited them next. Let's move onward to the next story. Chapter, Anemone and Buttercup. This story is about a girl named Anemone who finds comfort and inspiration through the stories of stars told by her loving guardian angel Buttercup. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering river, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Anemone. She would often lie on the grassy hillside at night, gazing up at the stars with wide-eyed wonder. One evening, as the stars twinkled brighter than ever, Anemone met a loving guardian angel named Buttercup. Buttercup had golden wings that shimmered like the stars themselves, and eyes that sparkled with the wisdom of ages. "Why do you look at the stars every night?" Buttercup asked softly. Anemone smiled and replied, "They remind me of dreams and endless possibilities." Buttercup's heart warmed at these innocent words, and she decided to share a secret with Anemone. "Do you know that every star has a story?" Buttercup whispered. Anemone's eyes widened. "Really?" she asked. "Yes," Buttercup nodded. and if you listen closely, they can tell you their tales. Together, they lay on the grass and Buttercup began to tell her about the stars. That one, she pointed to the brightest star, is the star of hope. It shines the brightest to remind everyone never to give up on their dreams. Animan's eyes sparkled. And this one, Buttercup continued, pointing to a smaller star with a gentle glow, is the star of love. It twinkles softly to remind us that love is always around us, even in the darkest times. Animan felt a sense of peace wash over her. They spent the entire night under the vast sky, Buttercup sharing the stories of the stars and Anemone, listening intently. Each story filled Animan's heart with warmth and inspiration. The stars all like our lids, Buttercup said at last. They may seem small and insignificant, but each one has a unique story to tell. As dawn approached, Buttercup prepared to leave. Will you come back? Anemone asked hopefully. Whenever you need me, just look up at the stars, Buttercup replied. I will always be with you. With that, Buttercup vanished into the morning light, leaving behind a trail of stardust. Anemone felt a new sense of hope and love in her heart, knowing Buttercup would always be there as her guardian angel. From that day on, every time Anemone looked at the night sky, she remembered the stories and felt the presence of her loving guardian angel. And so the stars became a source of comfort and inspiration for her, forever reminding her of Buttercup and the magical night they shared. Now, let's journey on with another gentle tale. Flower and Peony, a tale of Renault. This story is about Flower, a young girl, and Peony, a panda, discovering the meaning of renewal through the magical journey in a mysterious forest. At the edge of a mysterious forest, where the trees whisper ancient secrets, lived a young girl named Flower. Flower had hair like sun rays and a curious spirit that matched the wilderness round her. She would spend her days exploring every nook and corner of the forest, talking to the birds and listening to the stories of the wind. One day, while wandering deeper than ever before, Flower stumbled upon a glade she had never seen. In the center stood a majestic bamboo grove, glowing under the golden sunlight. As she approached the grove, Flower felt a gentle but strong presence. There, sitting calmly and serenely, was a giant panda named Peony. Peony's fur had a shimmering quality, black and white like moonlight and shadow dancing together. Flower had never seen a panda before, and she was mesmerized. Peony looked up and smiled, sensing Flower's gentle heart. Hello, I am Peony, the panda said in a voice as soft as the rustling leaves. Flower introduced herself, and they quickly became friends. They found they shared a love for nature and its endless wonders. Flower and Peony spent their days discovering hidden waterfalls, ancient trees, and fields of flowers that painted the forest floor in vibrant colors. As the days turned to weeks, Flower noticed that Peony often looked wistful, staring into the distance. One evening, under the light of a silvery moon, Peony shared his story. I have lived for many years, he said, but with each renewal of the forest, I feel a part of me fades. I long for a time when my spirit will be reborn. Flower listened with understanding eyes. She felt a deep connection to Peony and wanted to help. Flower remembered an ancient legend whispered by the wind about a magical spring that granted renewal. Determined, she set out to find it, with Peony by her side. Their journey was filled with challenges, but also wonder. They crossed roaring rivers and climbed towering cliffs. Along the way, Flower and Peony's bond grew stronger. After many trials, they found the magical spring hidden in the heart of the forest. A Flower watched as Peony drank from the spring. As the water touched Peony's lips, a radiant light enveloped him. His fur glowed brighter, and his eyes sparkled with new life. He only felt a surge of energy as if the forest itself was breathing new life into him. Flower smiled, feeling the joy of her friend's renewal. They returned to their glade, and Peony's renewed spirit brought even more magic to their days together. As the forest continued its cycle of growth and renewal, Flower and Peony knew their friendship was eternal. They had discovered the true meaning of renewal. It wasn't just about starting anew, but also about the bonds that strengthen and the love that deepens with each turn of life's seasons. And so every night, under the stars and the whispering trees, Flower and Peony dreamt of their endless adventures, knowing their hearts were forever intertwined. Now, let's continue with another soft tale. The Joyful Bond of Petunia and Camellia. This story is about a young girl named Petunia and a mermaid named Camellia who form an unbreakable bond through their joyous adventures. In a small coastal village, a young girl named Petunia lived with her parents. Petunia had always been fascinated by the sea and spent countless hours wandering the shoreline, dreaming of the mysteries that lay beneath the waves. One sunny afternoon, while collecting seashells, she found an unusual, iridescent shell that shimmered with all the colors of the rainbow. As she held it close, she heard a gentle, melodic voice calling her name. Intrigued, Petunia followed the voice to a secluded cove where she discovered a beautiful mermaid named Camellia. Camellia had eyes the color of the ocean, and hair that flowed like liquid gold. Petunia and Camellia quickly became friends, sharing stories and laughter. Every day after school, Petunia would rush to the cove to meet Camellia. They explored underwater gardens, played with dolphins, and even exchanged gifts. Camellia gave Petunia a necklace made of pearls, and Petunia gifted Camellia a handcrafted bracelet. The two friends found immense joy in each other's company, creating a bond that grew stronger with each passing day. One day, a fierce storm hit the village, and Petunia's home was flooded. She was heartbroken to find the cove in ruins, fearing she had lost her friend forever. But as the skies cleared, she heard the familiar melodic voice, and there was Camellia, safe and sound. Overwhelmed with relief, Petunia realized their friendship could withstand any storm. They celebrated their reunion with a joyful dance and promises of everlasting friendship. From that day on, their bond was unbreakable, built on trust, love, and the endless joys of shared adventures. Good night. May you find comfort in your dreams.